Hi, and welcome back to Football Made Simple. Between 2008 and 2012, Barcelona were largely successful, winning several trophies whilst playing a distinct brand of football under Pep Guardiola. But although the broad principles were the same in all 4 seasons, there were distinct tweaks from season to season, as Guardiola tactically evolved. In this video we'll assess some of the changes. A quick note, in this video we won't cover the 2010-11 season, as we have a dedicated video on them linked in the top right corner now. We'll start by a side-by-side comparison of his sides in his first 2 seasons. When Pep Guardiola took charge in 2008, Barcelona won the La Liga, the Copa del Rey and the Champions League, with the predominant formation being a 4-3-3 and the personnel largely looked like this. In his second season, the trophies continued to pour in, with La Liga, the Supercopa de España, the UEFA Super Cup and the Club World Cup being added to their ranks, whilst also using a 4-3-3 with the following personnel. The Phase 1 build-up play was similar between the 2 seasons, with Valdez looking to find one of the centre-backs to initiate the play. If the centre-backs were pressed high by the opposition, in either case, they were comfortable splitting to the width of the 18-yard area to make it harder for the opposition to close them down, as they would be spread across the pitch. The defensive midfielder was key to this, and although Busquets often featured in 08-09, it is only the following season where he became the undeniable first choice in this position. Either way, they would drop between the centre-backs when it was required to form a back 3 when building up to outnumber the forwards higher up the pitch. In the midfield, Iniesta suffered from injuries during Guardiola's second season, meaning that many of his appearances were late in the game as a substitute. So, Seydou Keita, who's more of a defensive player, found himself starting here for much of the season. As a result, the more attacking Maxwell started at left back instead of Abidal to maintain Barcelona's attacking thrust on this side, which Iniesta often helped when he moved wide. And it is here that we begin to see some of the tactical differences, mainly dictated by the composition of Barcelona's front players. In 08-09, Messi was happy wide on the right, and was an inverted winger more than anything else, often happy to hug the touchline during the build-up play and only tuck infield when he had the ball and was looking to go for goal or feed a teammate, or providing the incisive movement in the last phase of play with off-the-ball movement. This meant that Alves was still highly attacking, but often had Messi ahead of him and could look to combine vertically and overlap Messi to try and create more space for him wide on the right. Very late on in this season, Messi was now occasionally used as the centre forward, and Eto'o was selfless and had the traits required to play on the right and could move into this region to maintain the balance of the team. This is in contrast with the tactical problem Pep encountered with Ibrahimovic in the following season. Messi, having had the taste of playing as a false 9 at the end of the prior season, now wanted to occupy the central regions. So instead of making his way down the wing, then looking to cut in from high up the pitch, he now headed infield much earlier and wanted to receive the ball here, meaning that Barcelona now had more numbers central. This also meant that Dani Alves was no longer performing in support to the right winger, but instead he was now the primary provider of the width. And with Messi giving more numbers central, Xavi could look to offset the lack of balance on the right at times. Ibrahimovic, unlike Eto'o, didn't constantly push the opposition's backline deep by staying on the defender's shoulder, as he liked getting much more involved on the ball deeper, something which Messi did as well, which is why they often didn't thrive when playing together. As a result, by the end of the season, Messi started more often as the false 9, and Ibrahimovic found himself out of favour, and Pedro moved to the right, and Henry was reintroduced on the left-hand side. This means that in 08-09, the left winger and the centre forward constantly attacked the box relentlessly, but in 09-10, that threat was slightly different, with the wingers making runs ahead of Messi now. And now to Pep's final season, where we saw the biggest evolution in his tactics, with a sustained change in formation. In this season, Barcelona won the Copa del Rey, the Super Cup, the Supercopa de España and the Club World Cup. He shifted from the 4-3-3 to the more Cruyffian 3-4-3 diamond, which he had played in during his career, using the following personnel. This formation was used primarily against teams who operated with a 2-man front line and tried to sit deeper against Barcelona. Busquets often slotted into the central position due to his passing ability, and this meant that the outside centre-backs could confidently create passing lanes higher up, knowing that he would find them with unerring accuracy, allowing them to bypass the front two. With Seydou Keita more limited on the ball, one of Xavi and Iniesta often dropped in alongside him to form a double pivot to help and progress the ball. Using this tactic, Pep had several men central, and this forced the opposition to contract. And instead of fullbacks, Pep had genuine wingers who would then be able to freely receive the ball on the touchline. In addition, knowing that they had 4 central midfielders meant that the wide central midfielders were keen to move into the half spaces in support when the ball did go wide in order to generate more attacking options. But the main reason this system was used was the presence of Cesc Fabregas. Pep liked Fabregas's instinctive attacking ability while still being able to retain possession, and he and Messi formed a good partnership. When Messi stayed high, Fabregas could drop into midfield to provide them with an extra passing option, and when Messi instead dropped deep, they could perform the opposite roles. In many ways, Fabregas unlocked Messi, giving him even more freedom to move and create angles wherever he wanted, knowing that Fabregas was always there to balance his movements as the perfect foil. This led to Messi's highest ever La Liga return, with 50 goals in the league alone, although the wingers really hugging the touchline saw their goal output suffer as well. Guardiola's spell at Barcelona combined the peak of an academy, good transfers, and a great manager willing to adapt tactically. Which of these 3 seasons was Barcelona's best though? If you enjoyed the video, a like would be great, and hit subscribe to see more content. But that's all for today, and remember, keep it simple.